We are all manner of nervous and all manner of nervous and all manner of, wait for it, nervous. But should we be? Does Georgia have a chance? Apparently, the world's saying we shouldn't even show up. Will Kirby and company do that next Locked On Bulldogs?
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. He is Clint, just out there living his best life. I am Daniel. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, FanDuel.com, the official sportsbook partner of the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. More on them in a moment. Happy Friday to you. This is it. This is the last episode before the game. We, as Clint mentioned, programming note, we will be back on Saturday night after the game is over. We will be
win or lose. We're
here. We stand in the paint. We stand in the paint. We will have enough of our faculties in place to be here and be present on Saturday evening. That is a guarantee. We will overreact on that show, and so just be prepared for it. Today it's going to be excited, nervous, don't sleep on it. And I think it's going to take the form of reasons for optimism. We both predicted Georgia's going to lose this game. Neither of us have changed our minds. We both predict Georgia's going to lose this game. That doesn't mean, yes, okay. So Georgia fans, just so you know, if we win on Saturday night, when you jump in the comments and trash us for predicting Georgia's going to lose the game, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I think they're going to lose the game. I'll be just as happy when we win.
Before the season began, my season preview, I said we're going to lose one game this year, and I predicted against Tennessee. Based upon what I've seen so far, this is what the world, based upon my eyeballs thus far, it's Alabama winning this game. And
I predicted we would lose two games, this one and the Tennessee game, and so I'm standing by that. I've seen all that.
But that doesn't mean we think it's a foregone conclusion, Daniel.
No. I mean, this is a really close game. I think this is a really close game. Absolutely. So reasons for optimism, reasons for pessimism, and then sort of sleeper elements of this game. Things that you're not thinking about, things that could come into play that could dictate the outcome of the game one way or the other. Okay? Let's start with reasons for optimism. Things to be excited about. Kirby on a bye, Clint, is a good football coach. That's a proven thing. That is a statistically backed thing. He's undefeated with over a week to prepare in the last however many years. I can't remember the number. He's like 20-0 in his last 20 games when he has at least a week to prepare. So that's good. Georgia's good in these types of situations.
Absolutely.
But I think it goes a step further than that. Because Kirby hasn't had a week to prepare for Jalen Milroe and Alabama. He's had a summer to prepare for Jalen Milroe and Alabama. This is the second go-round. I know it's a new coordinator. I know it's a new system. None of the system scares me. It's not to say it's not a good system. None of the scheme scares me. You know who scares me? Jalen Milroe scares me because he absolutely lit us up last year in Atlanta. But this is Kirby and Glenn's second go-around at Jalen Milroe. If you don't think the game plan's going to improve, if you don't think the scheme is going to grow, then you're just delusional. Like you're likely an Alabama fan, and you're just delusional. Kirby is a really good football coach. Regardless of what you think about him, regardless of what you think about the program, he's a really good football coach. And now you're giving him a whole year to prepare again for the same guy. I don't think Jalen Milroe is going to light us up in this game. I have questions about Georgia's offense. We'll get to that. But I have questions about Alabama's offense and their ability to move the ball against Georgia. And it's not necessarily because Georgia's defense has improved. It's because I think the coaching staff will have a better game plan than they did last time. So that's my first reason for optimism, Clint.
My first reason for optimism, Dan, I'm going to set us up here. And Answer honestly for me, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
Is this Alabama defense better, the same, or worse than last year's Alabama defense?
Worse. They have worse players and they're worse coached.
They have worse players and they're worse coached. Let's go really quick. Carson Beck last year against Alabama in a losing effort, 21 of 29, 72%, 243 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, a rating that was online just a dip below what he's normally has done. 167 was last year. 142 was what he did in that game. Against Georgia Tech, he had a rating of 145. He had a lesser game against Vanderbilt. He had a lesser game against South Carolina. The game against Alabama, Carson Beck was not out of place last year in a losing effort. As a matter of fact, he was one of the bright spots. We got hammered up the middle and up the gut and on those trenches, but Carson Beck held his own against a very talented NFL first-round pick littered Alabama defense. This year, worse coached, lost coaching staff, lost talent. Carson Beck knows is playing a lesser defense and played better against them. Now, this could be a whole different team. They're still in the crimson. They're still in the white. They're still there. Carson Beck is the first reason. And many Georgia fans are like, oh, no, Carson Beck has lost a touch on the deep ball. He doesn't have the accuracy. Stats don't like what you're saying, or you don't like stats. Either way, they don't go together. They don't correlate. My first reason for optimism, Daniel, is Carson Beck's been here, and he's not going to blink an eye towards this game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I think if you're looking for other reasons to be optimistic, I mentioned it earlier in the week. I think the health of the inside linebackers compared to last year's game is a huge factor. I mentioned the scheme already. I think it's going to be better against Milroe, but a scheme is worth nothing unless you have players to execute it. Now, Georgia's not going to be fully healthy in this game going in, and so there will be people notably absent. We'll probably get to that later. But CJ Allen, Raylan Wilson, and Smile Mondon are as close to 100% as they have been. Certainly much closer to 100% and much more experienced than they were last year when Georgia played Alabama in the SEC championship game. I think it goes along. That is the most important position on the field, right? I mean, Malachi Stark said it in the presser. The front has to do their job, and the secondary has to do their job. Now, I know that the wide receivers are talented, but I trust the secondary to do their job. Like, I trust Georgia's secondary to do its job, to not bust, to not let people run wide open, to defend the deep ball. The front has to do their job. They have got to contain and get Milroe on the ground. They've got to stop the run up front. If the front does their job, and I think the health of the linebackers would indicate, and then you add Warren Brinson coming back into the fold. Warren Brinson is going to play in this game. That's an important thing. Jordan Hall is not going to play. It's not like we'll not talk about Jordan Hall.
Nope,
Michael Williams not going to play. Michael Williams is not going to play in this game. Warren Brinson's going to play. That's a really important
very
thing,
crucial,
I think, for this Georgia defense. Health of the inside linebackers and the presence of Warren Brinson, I think, changes a lot.
My last thing for excitement, Milroe has horrible footwork and horrible mechanics. Full stop. We have the best havoc wrecker on the edge in the SEC. I take Jalen against anybody's tackle, tight end, chipping combo in the SEC. Now, you get a quarterback who's skittish, who doesn't have good footwork, who doesn't step up in the pocket, who can't throw when he's off rhythm. All of a sudden, you add a guy who's going to be in his head chirping. That's the second reason. One on the offense, one on defense. We got Jalen. They don't have a quarterback who's fundamental. He's really athletic. Full stop. I've summarized Milroe to a T. Don't come at me, Bama fan, because you know it's true. Stop talking.
Go ahead.
Actually,
go ahead.
We're gonna come back after this. Tell you what. What to be just bucket worthy about. But first, peace. Today, we have Robinhood for you. With Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and the perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, The resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash, receive unlimited 1% deposit bonuses, and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply for product-specific disclosures. Visit robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold member is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC.
Reasons to be nervous. Clint, I'll let you kick us off here.
Sure.
You got your pick. You can take any of the reasons that you want.
Guys, I'm gonna go. The obvious one staring us in the face.
Okay.
We are on the road as favorites against the more physical, more dominating,
say
more driven, more grit and determination team at this level in the season. The reason for pessimism, guys, we are facing Bama at the wrong time. We are coming off a Kentucky game, which we absolutely got mollywopped right in the kisser. And we had a bye week. And you could say, oh, the bye week helped us out. The last time we played football, meaningful football, we got it handed to us.
Not a great taste left in the mouth. No.
And Bama, conversely, last time they played, they came away feeling good. The best indicator of future success is previous success, Daniel. And we're not the same level of team as Bama right now in this season. And you can fight me all you want on that, but it's true.
Yeah, I don't know what you've seen from Georgia this year that would indicate to you that Georgia should be favored in this game. And you could say Alabama hasn't played anybody, and that's true. Alabama has not played anybody this year. Been Cupcake City, the whole schedule. Georgia played Clemson. Georgia played Kentucky. Kentucky would murder Wisconsin on a neutral field. Absolutely destroyed them. So Georgia's played 2 games against teams that are better than anybody Alabama's played this year. But you also can't base a prediction of future outcomes based on just how good you thought a team was going to be coming into the season. At some point, you have to adjust. And the adjustment has to be, to me, this offensive line is not it. The offensive line has clearly shown me that they do not have it.
We talked about this, and practice reports indicate this. If you thought you were a starter on the offensive line before this week, you were sadly mistaken. Every single position is up for grabs.
Let me explain what's a terrible thing to have happen. A bunch of positions up for grabs on the most important grouping on the field right before you go into a hostile environment against maybe the best team you'll play all season. It's just not a great situation to be struggling up front. Alabama's got some great pass rushers.
They do.
They're good along the defensive front, filled with athletic freaks. And so, do I trust Georgia's tackles in this game? No, not at all. Do I trust the interior of that offensive line to be able to create holes for the running game? Why would I?
They did it so well against Kentucky, though, Daniel. We ran the ball so well.
Why would I trust them to do something that they have shown that they cannot do so far? So, yeah, I trust Carson Beck, but I don't trust this offensive line to give him time. I don't trust this offensive line to help him out with the run game. And it's too much to ask Carson Beck to go on the road to Tuscaloosa against a really talented football team that's going to be well coached and win the game. Isn't it?
Daniel, everything you just said is absolutely right. The pessimism is not on the defensive side. We're getting guys back. I think the pessimism is not going to be containing Milroe. I think if we walk away and all y'all are talking about moral victories, it was on the road, it was against Bama, it was in Tuscaloosa. Stop doing that.
We don't do that.
Now, I think we don't do that. I think we're going to contain Milroe. I do believe that. I'm not doubting that whatsoever. But man, I can't get away. I'm just imagining 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. with the crowd raucous and that D-line pinning their ears back and Mike Bobo having to cook something up and Carson Beck just looking around and trying to make reads when he won't be able to, that's going to be the game. So unless we are getting 4 or 5 yards of carry every single time, unless we're in 3rd and 2 and they know we're going to run, then all of a sudden I'm fearing getting stuffed. You see, it's just a bad recipe on the offensive side. We're going to come back, say stuff not to sleep on. There are a few things don't sleep on this game. We might give you keys if this happens. Then it might tilt another way. But first, these. These are, in fact, FanDuel. FanDuel.com, the number one place, Daniel and I trust, to make the bet that we gave you out yesterday. Georgia is favored 2.5 on the road in Tuscaloosa, and many of you have heard about that. Don't go for that. The over-under that we gave you yesterday, 49.5, take the under on that. It's going to hit. Take the first half under as well. It's going to be 6-3 or 10-3 at halftime. But everything you do, go over to FanDuel.com right now. Put it on. If you wager $5, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets right to your account. That's a $5 bet. $200 goes right into your account immediately, right away, 100%. They're fantastic. FanDuel is the only place Daniel and I trust, the official sportsbook of Locked On Bulldogs and Locked On Podcast everywhere. Terms apply, conditions apply. Get over there right now. FanDuel.com. Make every moment more. All right, Daniel, let's talk about what not to sleep on. I was on a podcast with an Alabama sports writer, and he said he doesn't understand. Maybe Vegas knows something that they have. Well, it was something. He said, I don't know why Georgia is favored. They shouldn't be. So the fact that they are gives me pause. He was nervous. He didn't want to pick this game. He had a 1-point victory for Alabama. Even that he didn't feel confident about. And so, look, this game is far from guaranteed any direction, but I'm going to give you something not to sleep on, and it's this: don't sleep on this game coming down to one final drive for Georgia. I can see this happening. Georgia fan, you're going to have to sit through. This is going to be. Let me paint you a picture, Georgia fan. Let me paint you a picture, Daniel. Okay,
sure.
You and I are getting our faces crushed in by the Alabama defense all game long. Milrow is contained. The defense is flying around. The linebackers are doing their job. Jalen is pressuring Milrow. We get a pick. Malachi Starks returns one back to the 50 to 45. We're in business. We get a field goal or a touchdown off of because the defense sets us up. It's now 7 or 10 to 13. It's 7 to 10 to 16. And there's 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And Georgia gets the kickoff and has the ball. And we start driving. And we're down to the 40 to the 45, and we're approaching midfield with 2 minutes left. Don't sleep on that being the game. And at which point, I want you, Georgia fan, to just do me a favor. Because if that's how it works out, we lose the game. Just so you know, we lose the game. Okay. Carson throws a pick. We get stuffed on 4th down because we're outside of field goal range. Field goal's not going to win it. The best chance we have is a fast start for this offense, real quick, and we put up 14 points before half. That's our best chance of winning this game. I don't think it's going to happen. But
yeah, well, that falls right in line with my don't sleep on, which is that Georgia will be down double digits in the first half of this game. Okay, I don't think Georgia's going to lose this game by double digits by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
They will come storming back. And in my mind, either win the game close or come up just short. But Georgia will be down early in this game. I think the crowd will be a factor early in this game. Yeah. And can Alabama sustain that for 4 quarters? I don't think they can. I do think Georgia is a talented enough, maybe slightly more talented football team. And so I do think that they will come back, but maybe too little, too late. Maybe they just squeak one out. Don't sleep on the legs of the field goal kickers deciding this game. Like, I think if you see your team, and this applies to everyone listening, if you see your team miss a field goal, you may just want to pack it up because, like, points are going to be at a premium, we believe.
Yes.
Touchdowns are going to be at an ultra premium.
Yes.
You need those threes anytime you can get them. So if you see your team miss a field goal, that might be it for you. Don't sleep on Maybe it's a last-second field goal this game comes down to, but maybe it's all the field goals along the way, and one kicker goes 3 for 3, and one kicker goes 2 for 3, and there you have it.
Here, look, I'll don't sleep on this. Don't sleep on me getting on Twitter, texting Daniel, texting all it. If our defense, if we are winning in the fourth quarter and we have our defense on the field and Milroe has to drive
the reverse scenario.
If the reverse scenario is there, I'll puff my chest out with it.
We may start the cameras early for the overreaction show. We may just come on here early.
Live when that final score. I trust this defense explicitly and with everything, Daniel. I am all in.
That makes one of us. All right, we will be back on Saturday night talking about this game, breaking it down. Georgia fans, we're here. Alabama fans, we're here. You finally get to play a real football game against a meaningful opponent, so congratulations to you. And we'll be back on Saturday to talk about it and overreact to it. He is Clint. I'm Daniel. This is the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, Alabama fans' favorite place to go on the internet. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.